What's up, Wargamers? Welcome back to World of Wargaming. I'm Isaiah. Today, I know I'm a little late on spoopy season. Sorry, October was a rough month for me. I was sick and just had a lot going on. But we're not going to let it get all the way past without playing one of my absolute favorite games, County Road Z, which actually has a lot of good stuff brewing for it right now. I'm super proud of Jordan. You're doing a great job, man. You keep it up, bro. Keep after it. That being said, if you haven't checked out the Facebook group or the Discord for County Road Z, check those things out. If you haven't smashed all the buttons for me, consider doing that, as it does help me out. And let's go take a look at the board and talk about this mission of County Road Z. All right, friends. So we're back at it for another game of County Road Z. We're going to be doing, I was hoping to be able to do a turn off the table and then come back on turn 20 to go do the story mission that I have. But I need some stuff. There are some things that I need to get my hands on, namely hardware. I'm going to be a little bit hungry, but I've got to get hardware. I need to get like the stove working, the fridge working. I need to get a lot of things going to get myself stable at the new community home. So we're back out here at Ray's Salvage, no relation to our Ray, totally different dude. We're on the kind of the front end of the junkyard today, whereas the last time we came snooping around in here, we were on the back side of the junkyard. So we know we picked that pretty clean, so we know there's not a lot left over there. We've got yellow resource tokens kind of all over the board. A lot of them did land in the resource area, which is this part of the junkyard here, along with the trailer. So we got kind of this line right here, right there, and we got a lot of zombies in here too. We took some things on the unexpected conditions table, so we took a roll on the weather and we got blizzard, which is worth 3 XP. However, archery, which I'm not using, I don't have that in my mission team this go round, would be cut to 12 inches. You have to exit through the edge you came in on, which is this edge for me, this southern edge. You can only move once per turn, and you can no longer like freely move over things that are less than 1 inch tall. We also took a roll on the dangerous terrain chart, so we got some crippling terrain here, and we got the entire trailer is crippling terrain because it's mad decrepit and jacked up. So let's get into this. My first turn is probably going to be pretty boring. I had to reshuffle my deployment a little bit because I noticed that I was too close to this resource token. You can't deploy within 6 inches of a resource token. You can deploy right at 6 inches or right past 6 inches, but you can't deploy within 6 inches. This resource token I can kind of get to. I don't think I can get to it this turn, but I can get to it without disturbing zombies. I don't have anybody with scavenge with me, so I'm going to need to try to get to as many of these as possible. So we're going to start just kind of moving some folks over this way. Is going to be most of my turn. Shifting everybody over their one movement that way. No zombies are currently activated or aggressive, so the zombie that is the farthest away from me will switch to aggressive, which is going to be this fellow. That's a resource token, so probably going to be this guy right here. You then get a random zombie that shows up. Now, if you're not familiar with County Road Z and this happens to be your first time watching a Batrep, I would suggest checking out the playlist and starting from the beginning so you can kind of see what's going on a little bit better. But I'm going to fill you in anyways. When you do a random placement for your zombie, we roll 2d10s. I use the blue for the X, the red for the Y. We then multiply our results by 3. So at 6 inches over and 28 inches up, way up there, we will get another zombie. To me, I will move, still not in range to activate anybody. We'll scavenge that, which has a noise of 3, so not going to hit anybody. And then Declan will move up and pick up. Betty is going to move to right here, just to kind of set herself up a little bit. Zombie phase. Our AI says that because there's no survivors within its movement +2 or its line of sight, it'll move to the closest passive and then activate all passives within 3, which is just that guy. Okay, so Tabitha is going to pop smoke right here, which will give these guys affected by it because they're within 6 inches of that spot, and they will not activate for any reason until my next turn. So I think at that point I can pop smoke and then get in and get some work done and get myself positioned well. Tabitha then runs up into there. Aunt Betty is going to step out and take a shot here. It's better at this point to let a zombie walk in randomly somewhere on this table edge and hope that I get lucky with the dice roll, because of the, if you shoot within 8 inches, they're drawn by fire. And that's a better option than activating a whole bunch more Zeds that are on the table. So she's going to step out and take a shot. When you do this, you're rolling a D10, adding your stat to it. On a passive zombie, which that is, we are looking for a 4 or better, and she is +3 to the skill. So basically it was don't roll a 1, because a 1 is always a fail. That will hit and kill this zombie. Okay, phase 1 of the plan accomplished. So we're going to be pulling in 1 on the edge, but I got to do something. I got to try to clear this out a little bit. He's going to take a shot right there. Okay. Of course I rolled a 1. So that's a miss, but the smoke will keep it from activating. But I really needed to hit there. Okay, so smoke will go away after my activations. I got these 2 zombies came in right behind me, the 2 from the gunshots, and our random placement came in right there between, crawled up out from under the dump truck, the garbage truck. So we're going to start with Tabitha, who's going to try to slice up that zombie right there. 5 with the blade. 2 will kill. 2 + 5 is 7. It's a passive zombie. That'll do the job. She is then going to move. Yeah, she's going to move to this zombie because she's still not going to activate them with her noise. So she's going to go ahead and move to that one. Declan, I don't know, I got to measure some things. I'm going to pull back just a little bit where he's outside of 8 inches from this edge, but also manages to be 8 inches away from any current zombies. And we're going to try to kill this guy who's coming up behind us. We get him. He's aggressive, so his defense is 6, but I'm like +4 or 5 with a handgun. So, yeah, dead zombie. Betty's just going to move up a little bit, not going to fire. Here's where all of our zombies start. Okay. So this zombie moved this way, didn't manage to activate anything because that was our random placement zombie right there. We also have the formation of 2 small hordes over here on the west edge of the board. 1 here and 1 here. A horde is when you have 3 active or aggressive zombies within 3 inches of each other. So that's fun. We'll see what happens over there. Anyways, but for the meantime, it's back to me. We're going to start with Tabitha, who is going to try to slice this zombie's head off. Let's go. Dead zombie. That is a target, so there's no other sound from it. However, I am going to measure some things real quick. I'm just going to scooch up a little bit, which is going to activate this zombie. He'll become aggressive, and then his activation ends, but not close enough to activate this one. The one that was over here, though, does hear me and comes around the corner towards me, but can't quite get to me, which is fine because that opens him up for a shot from Declan, which we're now going to take. Shot from Declan. 2 plus his 5. Plus his 5 in handguns, that's a 7. That will kill this aggressive zombie. However, it will also trigger this zombie from the noise. So he will move towards me, but he's not going to get to me, so I'm not overly worried just yet. So that zombie triggers and moves up to here. Declan and Betty are both going to stay put. Not going to move. We'll go to the zombie phase where this fellow will use his action to move up to Declan. That's fine because they only get the 1 action. This one will move up to Tabitha. And then our hordes will be moving in a random direction, which is one of my favorite parts about the game. So when you do a random, you just roll your D10, and whichever way the arrow is pointing, That's the direction they move, and I want to say the number is how far they move. Shuffles in a relatively safe direction. This one, however, comes for the money. However, they only activate passes within an inch and don't quite make it to within an inch on the 8 inches of movement that they got. Lucky me. We're going to start with Tabitha, who's going to take a swing at that zombie. Okay. That's going to be a dead Zed. And then we're going to move... Ooh, I don't want to move closer to that. We're going to move this way just a little bit. Just enough to set this guy off. So he goes aggro. We're going to go over to Declan, who's going to just shoot this guy in the face because I can use my revolver in melee. Out of noise range of the horde. 7. That will kill the Zed. And then Declan is going to move over to this group of resource tokens right here, where he can kind of... I'm going to make sure that I'm not within 6 of that horde, but I'm going to try to get to where I can kind of touch 2 of them at once. Actually, this way, there's nowhere that I can get where I'm going to be safe in relation to that horde. I want them to hopefully random move themselves back out away from me so that I can move around here a little bit more freely. So Declan's going to just kind of move this way, try to get himself into a bit of a position where he can help out some. We then go to zombies. So this one will move to Tabitha. And then we'll see what our hordes do. So this is where they're starting, where they're stopping. Our southern one moved north 10, and the one that was over there by the Redneck Mobile moved 8 to the southwest. That's perfect. Perfect for me. Well, let's place a random one. Random Zed comes in up top on the north edge near the swing set and the propane tank. We're going to start with Tabitha. We're going to try to depacitate that depacitation. 3 plus her blades of 5 will decapitate the zombie. Going to climb up on these old rusty stairs and take a shot at this zombie up on top of the shipping container. Okay. 6 will kill a passive zombie. Now that shot will also activate this zombie who is within the noise range of 8. So he's active now. We've got Betty left, who's going to move and then scavenge. So then I can pick that up on her next activation. We'll go to zombies. This is where everybody starts. Again, the red counters are the ones we're keeping an eye on because the rest of them are passive and they're not moving. This is a situation that I'm not certain of the answer to. This was my random movement roll for the southern horde, which moves them into the other horde, this other small one, which then makes one big horde. So the query then is, do they get to activate again and then the whole horde moves again, or do they just stay put now that that other one has been subsumed by the larger horde? I think in the past I've played it the latter, so that's what I'm going to continue to do. But Jordan, if you see this, let me know. Or rando comes in right there. I'm going to start with Betty, who's going to pick up this. And then she's going to move upfield. Declan, going to try to pop a shot right there on that zombie. 7 plus 5 will kill that zombie. Now that will also activate that zombie. So now he's aggro. That's okay. He's a little bit further back. He can be as aggro as he wants to be. Declan's going to chill up here on his perch with his revolver and just try to hold the fort down. So he's going to move her 6 and then scavenge that token. Zombies. And keep an eye on the red ones. Then slides up into the woods a little bit further. That was my roll. And whenever it's when they're at the table edge and it angles you towards the table edge, we slide them up the table edge the remaining distance. And on 4 inches, that's where they landed. I can dig it. Spawns in there. And our other aggro moves up to there, where Declan's going to try to shoot him in the head. Hiya! Dead zombie. Declan's going to climb down from his perch. So he's going to just down there to the bottom. Well, I guess we'll go that way. Okay. He's going to pick up this. And then she's going to move to this next one. We're going to have move 6 to here. and then climb up 6 to the top of this container to get to this one. But also, with her rifle, that's a pretty solid perch to kind of pick off some of these stragglers that are still around the area that I need to get stuff out of, because there's quite a few resource tokens in here, and I need absolutely as many of them as I can carry. Board gets kind of a bum roll for them and just rolls themselves an inch straight into the western edge of the board. Our rando zombie spawns over here in the backyard a little bit, kind of our area, but not going to be a problem. Not to the point where it's going to be problematic at the moment. So that's good. So to me, we're going to start with scavenge and pick up. Scavenge and pick up. He's going to move up his 6 and take a shot at this zombie right here in front of the house. Kills. Perfect, because that sets me up beautifully for my next turn. There are currently no aggressive zombies other than the horde. So let's see what the horde does. 9 inches dead into that side of the board again. And it's not even really any slant to it. But I'm going to slide them down 9 this way, I guess. And we'll go. We'll see. Pops here. And now it is time for Betty to try to earn her keep. First up, we're going to take a shot here at this freshly spawned one. One of the unspeakable situations. That's a kill. It will, however, activate these two, which means they just switch to aggressive. There's no further action. She's not close enough to bother that one, though. She's then going to take a shot at this one. Kill, which will cause this one to then activate and move towards her. The situation being, of course, that I needed to roll anything but a 1. Her shoot is 3. They were passive. So on the first one I needed a 4. On the second one I needed a 6, which I rolled that with just the dice. So all is well that ends well. That's perfect. We're gonna go with Tabitha, move, and then hop the fence that would be a climb action. So I think it's a climb action. Declan can hold one more doodad, so he is going to scavenge and then pick up. Okay, so this aggro zombie moves up to the base of the thing and then stops because it gets 1 action. The horde finally gets off the edge of the board, but not quite close enough to add another zombie to their crew. And our random zombie jumps in right here on this board edge. We go back to me, where I got some thinking to do. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this. Tabitha, who's going to move to that resource token. When she does, she started her movement within 6 of the Zed who was down here. So that Zed will move towards her. She's then going to hold. She's not going to do anything else because I want the zombie to just be walking up to me in the zombie phase. If it survives that long. So here's what we're going to do. Betty is going to activate now that she can see said zombie, because when it was right there from where she was, she couldn't see it. So she's going to take a shot. Oh yeah, that woo boy blows the whole front of its face off. It will, however, activate this or switch this zombie to aggressive, but that's okay because that is her next target. 3 or better is what I need to hit a 6. Dead zombie move just over this way. Pre-zombie phase. Zombie phase. Our horde shuffles a little bit more towards the fence. That makes me a little bit nervous, but we're going to carry on. Tabitha, going to scavenge and loot. Betty just gets to the edge and climbs down. Declan moves up 6. Let's see what the horde does. Because really, this is the only thing that matters right now. 5 inches. They're going to pick up a new guy, though. Random zombie spawns here, which is perfect. Declan is going to immediately just pop that shot as it jumps out of the shed at him. Dead zombie. Move up to behind the trash pile and take a shot downrange at that zombie. That'll kill. Good job, Betty. So Tabitha moves 6 over this way. The Horde gets a good roll. It's a 9-inch roll, so that moves them up to the chain link and stops them. And if they roll that direction again, then they will just break the fence down. That'll be their action, as the break action. Our random zombie came in right here. So back to me. Old Declan got to do a little bit of work here. So he's going to climb back up on his perch and take a shot at this zombie. That's a 4. That'll kill. We'll activate this zombie or switch it to aggressive. That's okay, not a big deal. But Declan's just gonna hang out back here. He can't carry any more resource tokens. He's gonna hang out back here on that perch and try to keep the back door clear. Fall back, take no shots. Tabitha is gonna continue on over here by herself. Between her riot shield and her blade skill, she's going to be fine, because at the most we're going to end up with 1 zombie that might spawn over there near her. Horde doesn't break the fence down yet. They just kind of slide down the fence line, that being the dice I rolled 8 inches, and they'll pick up that other passive that was hanging out down there by itself. Come to the party, friend. We're trying to eat some brains. Spawns up by the dump truck. Declan is going to take a shot at that zombie that's right in front of him. Kill. We'll move and scavenge. Not having Ash with me makes this a whole lot more work, because we would have been filled up already if Ash was here, because he has high scavenge. So when he scavenges a token, it puts down 3 resource tokens instead of just the 1. We would have been filled up and back at the house having a hot chocolate. But it's all good. We're going to get the job done. I'm the one who set the build team, so that's on me. Declan shot, killed, staying put for now. Betty's going to continue to move down the board. See what the zombies do. Zombies continue to have, the Horde continues to have fortunate rolls for me as they just come line up on the road. Maybe they heard something down the street. They heard there was some good brain down there. They're trying to go see what's good. Anyways, I need a random zombie. I forgot that. So we got our zombie kind of pops out of the bushes at the swing set. Not quite close enough to be aggressive. That's okay. That's good for me. So we're going to go with Tabitha, who picks up at 0 noise. And then she's going to move to this one, which will switch that zombie to aggressive. Stay put, kind of hold down the immediate area. Betty's going to proceed to start to move off the board. Zombie phase, this guy's going to move up to Tabitha. And let's see what the Horde do. We might have to break out of here quick. It's going to move up this way. Going to move back up the street. He's there on the road. Rando comes in on the back edge. Who's going to attempt to slay and then scavenge. So slay. Slay! Go ahead and depart the board. Start heading back to base with what she's got on her. Declan is going to stay put. Continue to hold down this thoroughfare for when Tabitha comes back down, because we have to leave off this edge. She can't just step off where she's at because of the blizzard. My friends, is why we kept Declan on his little perch, so that when a random one spawns in like that, we can deal with it. Good job. Kill. Tabitha's going to pick up and then start running down. We'll go to the zombies. It's a 2 up into the northwest, so just a slight movement for them on the Horde. Our random comes in here, and yet again Declan is just running. He's yelling at Tabitha, run, 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 while he's trying to take a shot, and shot. Kill. So as Declan's screaming and he takes the shot and he makes it, and Tabitha's moving out and she's moving the best she can, slogging through this snow, we're going to take this opportunity to use one of the rules from the Apocalypse Handbook, or Apocalypse Toolkit. And we're going to push it. So we add additional inches to our movement, and for each additional inch we add, it causes that much more noise. Since we can only move once, we're going to take full advantage of this, because there's nothing around us, and we're going to get a full 12-inch movement out of it. Over to here. And then zombies. Moves up the street that way. There's their dice. Random zombie comes in up here. They're going to come to me, where I'm going to move out I'm going to push it again. You can only do it once per turn, so it's a new turn, so I can do it again. So we're going to push it, and I'm going to get, you cannot leave the board when you push it, but I'm going to get myself right up to the edge of the board. Declan is going to climb down, and then with his movement, he is also going to push it up to here. We'll see what the Horde does this last time. It's not going to matter, really. So they would move up to the fence, and then it comes back to me, and they walk off the board. And then we can do some post-game. Immediate mission rewards on a gather materials mission. You get one of each for every resource token you had. So you get one of each. So I got one hardware, one fuel, one food. And then everything remaining is the one that you were going after, which for me was hardware. So I've got 7 hardware, and I'll have 2 more at the base because I'll be done cleaning out the chicken coop. All right, so XP wise, we're gonna get a bunch. So we got 3 extra for the blizzard. We got a total of 5 extra for the dangerous terrain features, which were, I don't know if I mentioned, but those were these things with the red stuff on them. And then we got another 5 for Tabitha's teaching skill. That XP, Tabitha will be able to get a point of move for a cost of 7 XP. Declan will keep a chunk of what he's got, but we are going to go up to level 3 with Scout. And then Betty is going to give a +1 level to everything, spending 7 XP, leaving her with 1 out of the 8 that she had on deck. So yeah, that's the most XP I've ever got. And that's again using the stuff from the Apocalypse Toolkit. So let's get over to some base management stuff. Because I didn't mention it, because if you're not familiar, you might not know. When you level up an ability or a skill, you pay the cost of the new level. So if it's level 3, it costs 3 XP. Your skill levels cannot exceed your tier. Your movement and your defense can be raised up to level 8. Facility staffing at the base is going to stay the same. Ray is going to keep the water going, and Sophia is going to keep the food rationing. Project team is going to be somewhat significant this go round. I'll get back to you. It's time to assign project teams. Now, my project team is absolutely massive. I'm putting Tabitha and Betty together to work. They are soul bonded, so they produce double their labor. So they would each produce 3 labor, which means together on the project team, they create a total of 12 labor, which is massive. Not even going to use all my labor to do this, but we're doing 3 hardware, 3 labor to build another utility station, because the one that I have is just a pump house for the well. I can't upgrade it. So I'm going to build a second one in one of my empty outdoor slots to set up as a solar farm. The solar panels that I was going to build in the last mission, I'm refunding myself that hardware because they were illegal to build. I could not add them to that utility station. I had to build a second utility station first. So there's that. I'm going to build 2 additional beds. One because I need one more, and then I've just got an extra one in case another survivor shows up at the community. And then with my last 2, we're going to get the fridge fixed. I'll have power next turn, so everything will be working. So all that will be up and running next turn, which will give me some more food going on, which is the primary concern now that I've got these essential projects underway. That leaves me with a total of 4 hardware in the hole, so I can definitely build a solar panel next turn. We're a little bit hungry, not enough to affect our stats. We're a little bit tired, not enough to affect any of that, because we're not going out on a mission next time. Our siege is only 1 or 2. Our siege threat is 4, which is not enough to even potentially get another siege at the moment, so nothing to worry about there. So we're gonna be okay for now. Next turn will be an off the table turn for sure, as we recoup, get this stuff built up. And I will be sending Ash out to do a little bit of scavenging, so he'll come back with a little bit of food that will help. And we should be able to be getting close to getting everybody fed. But that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in while we played a game of what turned out to be a really fun, stressful material gathering mission of County Road Z. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. And as always, I'd like to say a big, huge, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to our patrons who support us and pledge to us over on Patreon. You guys are the absolute best. If you enjoyed the content you saw here today and that's something that you would like to consider doing to help out the channel, go over there, check out the link in the description, check out the Patreon. There's a lot of cool stuff over there, including access to our Discord server. Talk to me, hang out with me, talk about our work, what we got going on in the hobby, some shout outs, all kinds of cool stuff. Check it out if that's something that you think you would be into. And regardless of whether or not you do that, I want you to know that I am incredibly grateful that you decided to stop by and spend part of your day with me today, rolling dice and pushing toy soldiers around. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and as always, may the dice be ever in your favor.